Take a look at this integral here. The question is, can you evaluate this integral without using trig substitution or without using partial fractions? And the answer is yes, we can. And here is the technique that we use. So we have the integral of 1 all over 2 plus x squared all squared dx. Now here is the technique we use. I want to remind you of something here. Remember this, the integral of 1 all over a squared plus x squared dx is in fact equal to 1 over a times tan inverse of x over a, and then plus our constant of integration. Remember this one. Now, of course, this assumes that a is a constant. But what if both a and x are variables? Then I'm allowed to use what we call differentiation under the integral. So we are basically saying this implies that derivative with respect to a of the integral of 1 over a squared plus x squared dx should be the same as the derivative with respect to a of the right hand side, which is basically 1 over a tan inverse of x over a plus the constant of integration c. Fantastic. Now I'll work on the left hand side and also the right hand side. On the left hand side, remember now a and x are both variables. So when we take the derivative into the integral, then it becomes partial derivative. So we're saying basically that this implies the integral of the partial derivative with respect to a of, let me rewrite this too. Watch this, a squared plus x squared. I'm going to raise it to the power minus 1 dx. The answer must be the same as, the derivative of c with respect to a is 0. Remember, c is a constant. So this is the same as the derivative with respect to a of just 1 over a, and then times the tan inverse of x over a. This is what we have on the right hand side. Remember, c is a constant. Right, here we're going to use chain rule. So what do we have on the left hand side? This is the same as the integral of, remember now, partial derivative of this expression. We differentiate the whole expression first, multiply 1 by this part here stays the same, but the power has to be reduced by 1 now, so you must have minus 2. And then chain rule says multiply by the derivative of this, partial derivative of this with respect to a, basically treating x as a constant. So that is 2a. And then we have dx. Right. On the right hand side, I do not have enough space here. So here now we're going to use what we call product rule. And I want to remind you of the product rule. It basically says that if I have a function f of x, which is a product of two functions, m of x and n of x, then f prime of x must be equal to m of x multiplied by the derivative of n, and then plus n of x multiplied by the derivative of m. This is the product rule. So that's what we're going to use here, because as you can see, we have two functions, 1 over a and the arctan or tan inverse of x over a. So I'm going to differentiate this part. Remember now what I said, differentiate that part, multiply by this, and then add. Then differentiate this, multiply by that, like so. So if you apply this here, it will be, we're differentiating this, multiply that by that, and then add derivative of this times that. So let me write it here because of space there. We're saying this is the same as derivative of this part, if you agree with me. But remember, we're saying keep this one the way it is, 1 over a times the derivative of this part. Let me use a dot for multiplication. And derivative of arctan is just 1 over, remember, 1 plus x over a, but it has to be squared, then multiply by chain rule the derivative of x over a, which is basically minus x over 2a. Sorry, minus x over a squared, not 2a, minus x over a squared. And I'm going to show you shortly how we arrive at that. I like to take things from first principles, so you follow exactly what I'm saying. So I'm saying the derivative of x over a with respect to a. How does it look? Allow me to use this part here. So we're saying x over a, we're differentiating this partially with respect to a. Remember, both x and a are variables, but we differentiate partially with respect to a. This is the same as partial derivative with respect to a of x a power minus 1. And because we treat x as a constant, it can come out. And then we're going to see times. Now this is derivative with respect to a of a power minus 1. And this simplifies to x. Remember, now we use power rule here. Minus 1 a minus 1 a power minus 2. Reduce power by 1. And what does this simplify to? Minus x over a squared. This is what you have. So that's why I'm having minus x over x squared over a squared here. Minus x over a squared, which is this one here. That's just the derivative of, remember, that part multiplied by that. But now I have to say plus the derivative of this times that. Now derivative of 1 over a is just, if you allow me to write it in this space here, it will be minus 1 over a squared, and then times the tan inverse of x over a. That's what we have on the right hand side. So let's just clean up. Let's simplify what we have here. So I'm going to start with this. Remember, this multiplication. I'm going to combine these two times that, and this has to be simplified. This part here, it's just plus minus. We know it's minus, multiplying the two. So what are we saying? What we're saying now is the following. Let me put these papers in order. What we're saying now is the following. Right, you can see it there. Yes. So what we're saying now is the following. The left-hand side, we're saying the left-hand side is the same as minus 1 times 2a is just minus 2a. We're dividing that by, now watch this, a squared plus x squared, o squared, and then dx. That's what we have on the left-hand side. Now on the right-hand side, these two combining, let me write it here. We have minus x all over a squared times a is a cubed. Now watch how I write this part here. I'm going to write it as a squared over a squared plus, of course, x squared over a squared. If you simplify the expression, this one here. This is what we have. These combining, we get this. And of course, we still have to completely simplify this completely. Now we're here. So what do we have at the end there? We have minus 1 over a squared times the tan inverse of x over a. We're still simplifying this part. If we continue simplifying this part, you agree with me, what we have is minus x all over, watch this now, a cubed times a squared plus x squared all over a squared, and then minus 1 over a squared tan inverse of x over a. Fantastic. Now let's simplify this. Of course, this cancels there. Remember, we subtract powers, dividing this, so it's just a there. So what do we have now? What we have is minus x all over a squared plus x squared, and then we have minus 1 over a squared times tan inverse of x over a. Now there's something else that you need to check. If you look at our integral here, in the numerator we have 1, but here we have minus 2a. Remember, we have minus 2a. Remember, this is equal to this. So we have minus 2a there. We need to get rid of that. We divide by minus 2a both sides. And on the left, therefore, we have the integral of 1 all over. And if you allow me to use square round brackets now, a squared plus x squared all squared dx. On the right hand side, we're going to have minus 1 over 2a. Remember, that's how we get rid of the minus 2a, is by dividing by minus 2a or multiplying by minus 1 over 2a. So we multiply, we do the same on the right hand side, this part here. So we're saying these terms, let me use brackets here now. We have minus x all over a squared plus x squared, and that's the first part. And then we have minus 1 over a squared times tan inverse of x over a squared, over a actually, x over a. Let me just clean up a little bit. This x here doesn't look very nice. This x here. Right, that's better. Now we have to simplify the right hand side further. If you agree with me, taking this to page 3 just to complete this. What do we have now? Well, what we have now is simplifying. We have to distribute minus 1 over 2a. What we get is the following. If you allow me to rewrite the no, not yet. This will be equal to, remember the minuses cancel, so we have x all over 2a squared, 2a squared, because that's 2a squared. You only multiply that by that, it's 2a squared. That has to be multiplied by, or had to multiply with a squared plus x squared. That's the first part. And then the two minuses cancel again. What you have plus, of course, 1 times 1 is 1. In the denominator, we have 2a times a, it's 2a cubed. Sorry, 2a times a squared is 2a cubed. And then times the tan inverse of x over a. Fantastic. Now, this is what we have. And of course, you can say plus constant of integration, which is our c. Because now, the evaluation of our integral is almost completed. But remember now, our original integral has a 2 there. But here we have a squared. So we simply set a squared to 2 equal to 2. So we're saying set, or let a squared be equal to 2. And so you agree with me that a will just be equal to the positive square root of 2. You say, why not plus or minus? Well, if you look at our integral here, no limit of integration, and this thing is squared, it's safe to assume that we're dealing with positive quantities here. And so this is what you have. Now, it means that we're going to say, therefore, the integral that we have, 1 over, if you allow me, I can squeeze it in here, I'll try. A squared, that one there, a squared plus x squared, all squared dx, which is equal to this expression here, x all over 2a squared, a squared plus x squared, and then plus 1 over 2a cubed tan inverse of x over a plus c becomes the integral. Remember now, this information in there, it becomes the integral of 1 over 2 plus x squared all squared dx. And then that will be equal to the right hand side. This part here, where there's a squared, I put 2. So what is 2 times 2? It's 4. So we have x all over 4. It's actually 4 as well. Quickly there, and I'm going to have to dry this part here because the correction fluid I'm using takes a bit of time to dry, but I think I'll dry it very quickly. I need to put a 4 there. Let me just continue writing. By the time I finish, I think it shall have dried, and then I can put my 4 there. So plus x squared, that's the first part. And then we have to say plus. Now I want to simplify this, 1 over 2a cubed. So what is 1 over 2a cubed? Well, 1 over 2a cubed is the same as, remember now, 1 over 2a squared times a, because that's a cubed. Why am I splitting it? Because a squared is 2 and a is square root of 2. So I can put that information here. This is same as 1 over 2 times 2 times square root of 2, which is basically 1 over 4 root 2, because that's 4. Let's rationalize the denominator. Multiply by root 2 and then divide by root 2. So what do we have in the numerator? Root 2. In the denominator, well, that root 2 times root 2 is 2 times 4 is 8. So that's what it simplifies to. So we are saying basically we have now 1 root 2 over 8 and then we have tan inverse of x over root 2, remember, and then plus our constant of integration. C is a real number. Remember, we have a 4 here. We have a 4 there. Fantastic. So this is our final solution to the integral. Now, this is called Feynman's technique. Basically, in simple terms, differentiation under the integral. A very important tool, very serious tool. Most integrals would be almost impossible to evaluate without this technique. I would be interested to hear from you. So, techniques of integration, this is one of them. I don't know how you would have approached this, maybe using partial fractions, or maybe using what we call trig substitution. Both methods will lead you to the same solution here, where we basically assumed that the tool or the integral that we already know here, where a is assumed to be a constant, we turn it into a parameter or a variable, and then we work with that and say, okay, we can differentiate this, both sides, with respect to a, and then see what happens in the end. This is what we get, which is our integral. There is what we needed to evaluate, and our final solution is that one. I'll be interested to hear from you. I'll see you next time.